heading down to New York to hang with the cousin-in-laws or whatever. Right now we're at the duty free. We're not actually buying anything. We just stopped to do a potty break. See you on the other side.
Oh my god, it's blown away.
Okay, we've arrived at the place we're staying in Long Island. Long Island. We left Montreal around 4:30, took an immediate wrong turn. Now we're finally here at 2:36 in the AM. Everyone's a zombie. Cody was asleep a long time ago. The missus is currently crashed on the bed. She did all the driving, so she's very, very tired. And I'm zonked as well. So, bed now. Maybe not up so early in the morning. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a great day tomorrow. Okay. It's now Friday morning, and today the plan is to... What the hell are we doing today? Anyway, it's a long weekend, which is why we came to New York. At home today, everyone's off for St-Jean-Baptiste Day, which in the 70s or so, the then government of Quebec renamed Fête Nationale, but nobody uses that term. Everyone still calls it Saint-Jean-Baptiste. So, since it's our provincial holiday, we left the province. I find that generally Canadians seem to do that, or at least those in Quebec do. Like July 1st, a lot of people come to New York, because it's a day off. Like they don't tend to sort of stay and participate in the Canada Day festivities or the Saint-Jean-Baptiste festivities. I find that weird because I don't know any Americans who come to Canada for July 4th. People are weird. Okay, it was a little touch and go there. When I woke up this morning, I could not find tea anywhere in this house, but the missus was out going to the market, and she got tea. This is something I have not seen at home. It's called the Waterfall Tea Company. Premium organic black tea. Now, if there's anything I know about the United States, it's that y'all use the word premium where it's not warranted. But I'll let you know what I think. Attractively overpackaged, however. Got the water on the boil. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna have. Camille, it's not deloc, it's unlock in English.
I said deloc.
You say deloc? You're in your pajamas too. Okay, so now I know what we're doing.
We're going to the zoo?
We're going to the zoo. I've never been to the zoo here, so I don't really know what to expect. Well, I expect I'm going to see animals, but I don't know how good a zoo it is.
So we're going to the Bronx Zoo.
We're going to the Bronx Zoo. It's going to be great. Well, this zoo is really, really cool. So when we left Montreal, I couldn't find my baseball cap or any hat at all, to be honest. The mudroom got rearranged at some point this year, and I don't know where anything went. I'm prone to heat stroke and sunstroke, whatever it's called these days. So when we got here to the zoo, since we're going to be outside all day, I bought a really cheesy souvenir to protect myself from the sun, and it's raining. I gotta love it, right? So far, it's a really cool zoo though. I'm liking it a lot. It's pretty old. I think it was, well, if this hat has anything to do with why it was established in 1899, and like some of the buildings are really, really cool. Late 19th century, early 20th century constructions, which is one of my favorite styles of architecture.
really cool. It's big too. I don't think we're gonna see everything today. But yeah, forgot a hat. I was afraid of sunstroke. Bought a cheesy hat, then it rained. Oh, one thing I will say about the Bronx Zoo, no one who works here knows where the bathrooms are. They've sent us on a couple of wild goose chases on one bathroom break, so Bronx Zoo, I love you, but come on, bring up your game, okay? But yeah, great zoo, nice zoo, I love it. So the family and I are riding the bug carousel right now. I'm artfully placing myself so that the wife is not on screen. The bug that I'm on is the dung beetle. Guess what the round part is? Dung beetle. It's a crappy ride. It was like a carousel from a Cronenberg movie, which means I kind of liked it.
Yana. So, Mama.
You know, I'm of two minds when it comes to zoos. And the problem is, they're two very clear minds. Oh, I'll get back to that in a second.
Oh, happy.
Oh, Cappy?
See?
Yeah. As I was saying, I'm of two very clear minds about zoos, and I can't figure out which is the uppermost one in my mind. I get the argument that you should not have animals in captivity. In fact, it kind of bugs me. For all the reasons that most people bring up. But on the other side, not everyone watches BBC Nature's, Planet Earth and all that stuff. Yes, I'm going to look at it in 1 second. Oh, that is cool, actually. Not everyone watches that kind of stuff. Not everyone reaches out and grabs the information about the animals we have in the world. So to some people, the only reason they would ever learn to care about endangered species is by coming to a place like this and seeing these animals actually moving, not stuffed in a museum somewhere, not, even people who watch them on TV, not on a screen, an actual living one flicking its ears and stuff like that. And so I can't give myself over completely to the idea that animals should be set free. But, I think to a certain extent, I believe today that the education aspect of getting people seeing these animals and therefore caring about them and maybe throwing a couple of bucks at a conservation organization, I kind of feel that that's the more important. And because I have full-on mal d'Afrique, man. I wanted to see that continent my whole life, so I can't get enough of the African exhibits, but that doesn't really overcome the problem with having these animals growing up in captivity instead of out and getting the gene pool, enlarging the gene pool in their natural habitats. I don't know. I think about that every time I come into a place like this, even though I love them. I do love a good zoo.
I don't know.
Okay, so when that hurricane hit New York a few years back, this whole part of Long Island, we're in Freeport, and it kind of got its ass kicked. So what a lot of the neighbors are doing are, see behind me, they're cranking that house right up. They jacked it up, they put stilts under it. A lot of the houses around here did that. They didn't all, because apparently it costs a mint. But like across the, there's like a little water body here, and across that, those houses are jacked way higher. I'm going to see if I can get a chance to go and take a closer look at some of them maybe tomorrow, because I've never actually seen a jacked house before. Morning. Our plan for the day was to go to the beach. However, it's been raining, and take a look at this. I don't know if rainfalls have just gotten bigger and better than they ever used to be, or if infrastructures are falling apart, but it seems like
big league cities are having more and more trouble with flooding. Like cities where, you know, we used to associate flooding with, like, what we used to call the third world, right? Oh, those poor people can't get a break and now they've got a flood. Or, you know, coastal areas that were prone to hurricanes or whatever. I wonder what's coming sometimes. I wonder what the next 50 years will bring. I mean, I'm not going to be around anymore by the time the world goes completely to hell, but my daughter will be. I think about that a lot. There they are. My water sandals. Well, it's only like 10 or 20 minutes later, and that flooding is already going down. When I say flooding, I don't mean that we were in... Did you hear that? That's why I was talking about, like, infrastructure falling down. This flooding is not due to a storm front hitting the city. It's due to rain overtaking the capacity of the sewers. This is a big ticket city, you know? And we have problems with that at home in Montreal too. I'm not dissing New York here. I'm talking about large cities in general and how I just totally blew the pronunciation of cities there, but we're gonna go with it, okay? I'm talking about how over time stuff like that just starts to wear down in big cities, especially as cities grow past what their original founders would have ever imagined a city could grow to, you know. That's it. That's also I'm still kind of asleep. I haven't had my tea yet. But that's also true of, like, highway systems and stuff, you know. How in some cities, you know, highways are still, like, in some parts of Canada, the Trans-Canada is in fact still just a 2-lane highway, if I remember correctly. And there are so many more cars on the roads now than there used to be, that highways that were designed in the 50s just, unless they've been widened and redone, they just can't handle it. I think a lot about the way cities grow.
I'll tell you something for free. I like New York, but I hate Times Square. Camille's got a bit of an allergy thing going on. Poor kid. Although... Okay, so the reason we're in New York City is because tonight there's a graduation party for the daughter of one of the missus's cousins. So we're here to celebrate. This means a couple of things. One is because the in-laws are of the Haitian extraction, means Haitian food, which excites me greatly because I do love that stuff. Second, I don't think I've ever worn this much white at one time before. I kind of feel like I'm in the Navy. It's gonna be a great night. Catch you later. Pretty good party so far. The food's good, as it always is. Well, I'll tell you something for free. That was the best looking party I've been to in years. I walked in there and thought, man, I gotta leave and lose 20 pounds and come back to this party. It was a good party. The food was fabulous. I do love me some Haitian food though. Man, if there was one cuisine I could, no, I was about to say if there's one cuisine I could have for the rest of my life. No, it's not that good, but it's pretty damn good. So the plan for today is to go to the beach. But it's gonna be great. We're going to the beach. We're going to the beach. We're going to the beach. We're at the beach. So we're down on the Nautical Mile. The name of the street is Nautical Mile. It's where the, a lot of boats and stuff dock here. And I think we're still in Freeport. I don't really know New York or Long Island very well. But behind me is a house that is jacked way at it's gotta be like 20 feet in the air. I think I mentioned before that a lot of them after the hurricane, a lot of their insurance companies are saying that they won't insure these houses if they're not cranked right up into the air like that. But that is high, man. Where we're staying, it's not right on the ocean. It's like there's a jetty of land with houses and stuff on it, and then a little inlet, and then where we are. So those houses are only being put like 10 feet up in the air or something. But man, that's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. I'm just totally jaywalking. Well, we're packed and ready to go home. I'm just making one cup of tea for the road, and then sayonara, New York. It's been a good trip. Been a really good trip. This behind me is what those houses look like after they've been jacked up and then had, I guess they're false walls put down or something, just so that they're not clearly up there just on stilts. Okay. So we've been back for a couple of days. At some point, I'll go through all the footage I shot and edit this video together. As I said, at some point. It was a good trip. I'd never been to the Bronx Zoo before, which is weird because I've gone to New York a lot. But it was always as, at one point I had a girlfriend in the Bronx. At one point I helped a friend move down and I went down a lot to see him. And now the missus, who should not be named online, the vast majority of her family, it seems, lives down there. So I've gone to New York a lot, but I've never done any of the touristy stuff. I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I had never gone into the old World Trade Center. I had never done so many of those things. The birds are happy we're home. The only thing I've ever done is I've gone to the Museum of Natural History, I've gone to the planetarium. I like that kind of stuff, But to me, I don't find that I get a sense of a city by doing all the touristy stuff. I get a sense of the city by sitting in a cafe on the corner of X and Y and just spending a couple of hours there, whatever, reading a book, writing, watching people go by, Of course, we did some shopping. I bought my daughter so much Star Wars stuff. I don't like Disney, but there are benefits to Disney buying Lucasfilm. I totally buggered the pronunciation of Lucasfilm there, but we're just going to leave it in, okay? One thing that always kind of bugs me whenever I'm in the States, though, get rid of this, guys. Nobody has a $1 or £1 or whatever note anymore. And Here I've got, these were not accepted everywhere, but here we've got 3 different, you guys have tried 3 different dollar coins. This one, oh, this one's Canadian. Okay. Thomas Jefferson. I kind of think this might be the latest one. That's Thomas Jefferson. This is a Sacagawea dollar. And Susan B. Anthony. You know, you guys have tried this 3 times now. As far as I can count, you've done this 3 times now, and it never seems to catch on. I've always said that Americans will never accept a $1 coin because Americans are afraid of change. But at the end of the day, it's time. It's time. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Guys, learn to love the $1 coin. I cannot tell you how often I've reached into my wallet thinking I've got all kinds of money, and it's like 20 singles. Guys, Americans, I love you, but this sucks.